Since the rollercoaster run of the FIFA World Cup is coming to an end this weekend, and since there is time in Ted Lasso's third season premiere, one thought to recommend something that might help fill in the big football void that the intense tournament is going to leave in everybody's hearts and minds. Maybe many of you already know, or maybe you don't care much about a lower league football club in Wales that was bought by two Hollywood stars. So to make everyone notice, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, who are not just new fans of the sport but are also great storytellers, decided to do what they do best: create and sell a story by being self-aware and poking fun at themselves. They know how ridiculous it sounds for an American and a Canadian to go buy a dying third oldest football club in the world, Wrexham. A fact that they milk a few times on the show. Sure, it's a bit on the nose sometimes, but when your initial skepticism sinks in through the first couple of episodes, you find yourself genuinely chuckling at some instances, some authentic, real Welsh locals and players in the team you end up investing in, some you're truly comforted with, and before you know it, you might find your skeptic self getting emotional in one of the episodes, and then you wonder why. Welcome to Wrexham finished its weekly 18 episode run on Disney Plus Hotstar a couple of months ago, and it was generally well received. Season 2 is already hinted at, but while there are several people who liked the show for what it is, there was also some criticism thrown in its way by some cynical folks who only looked at the show with the lens of two white millionaires buying a football club as a hobby and behaving like they are saviors of not just the Wrexham club, but the whole town of Wrexham and Wales itself. Like this Indian Express review, which gave it 2.5 stars despite praising it mostly except some jabs at the end to keep it balanced. So why the 2.5 star rating? Fuck knows. Why continue with this star rating system on a reputed platform at all, especially in today's times when this system has been criticized over and over again and rightly so? Fuck knows. Maybe it was a case of managing expectations for this reviewer. Being an elite football purist, someone who watches all insightful football club documentaries and keeps an updated match list, probably plays in a fantasy league online or plays FIFA once a week with work colleagues and neighborhood friends or plays at home on a PS or any other gaming console. He subconsciously was expecting to watch an intense documentary which captures the inner workings of a football club instead of watching the story unfold from the POVs of the two millionaire co-owners. First off, the show was never marketed as a way to teach or show the inner workings of a football club, even though it does do that every now and then. From any of the press interviews and the trailer itself, even a layman can tell that it's a fish out of water underdog story backed by two very likable stars. Which is the same thing that its fictional counterpart Ted Lasso starts with. An American who doesn't even understand all the rules of football or soccer as they call it, lands right in the middle of coaching a struggling club. Just like Ted Lasso, the show is a warm, feel-good, full of heart tribute to the sport and what it means to a community. And secondly, why show the inner workings of a club which nobody gives a shit about? Personally, following the two millionaires' journey is way more interesting because it's unique. The other superior documentaries that this reviewer compares it to didn't have a scenario where two famous Hollywood celebrities buy a lower league football club. And why can't Welcome to Wrexham coexist with those documentaries? Imagine if we were to compare Ted Lasso to Bend It Like Beckham. Doesn't make sense, right? And not every millionaire is a villain. If anything, why would two millionaires do this to get humiliated by a bunch of Europeans who literally chant insults at them from the stands the moment they enter the stadium to support their team? If anything, it actually makes them grounded. But this reviewer further mockingly writes, this football club purchase seems like a very expensive and elaborate joke or a way to market Ryan Reynolds' gin. Not claiming that there's no truth to this. They do plug aviation gin every now and then, but who doesn't plug in their business or movie or show or even a YouTube channel no matter how big or small it is? That's just marketing 101, just like using their own brand of self-aware humor to market the club. But speaking of being self-aware, it appears like the reviewer's digs at the docuseries stem from seeing and knowing the Hollywood star stamp on a beloved sport. It's the same kind of cynicism that adds fuel to trends like boycott Bollywood, without even giving it a chance. What if instead of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, the club was bought by someone not even half as famous? One thinks the cynical snobbish review would have been a 4.5 starrer for sure. So to sum up, watch Welcome to Wrexham because it's self-aware like it's 2 stars. And as long as you are too, knowing they've created a show to promote a brand, you can give in to what the show is actually trying to say. A great feel-good story. It feels like a sitcom in a docuseries format, and we obviously love those. And it's a great underdog story, which is literally every tearjerker sport movie. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. No matter how much you criticize them, you can't deny the fact that the two are really affable, and one hopes for them to collaborate in fiction too. Acquiring and making Wrexham successful is just the MacGuffin to showcase a range of emotions a community united with the sport goes through, along with some real, authentic people you instantly start rooting for. And lastly, it's an ode to any competitive sport that can bring fully grown adults to tears, whether it's the moment of Sachin and Dhoni lifting the World Cup or Federer and Nadal in the former's last match. That's the connection that a sport and this show tries to talk about. The cynic would right now be thinking 10 more ways to criticize the show and this video, but nobody's claiming the show is groundbreaking. But it doesn't mean it's not worthy of a watch, which it definitely is. Season 1 does have 18 episodes currently streaming on Disney Plus Hotstar in India, but the good thing is that most of the episodes are under half an hour. And with the fish out of water story shown in Season 1, one hopes that Season 2 tells a different tale that even the cynics get interested in watching too. Exactly how Ted Lasso turns things around for all characters in the show who don't believe in him or the team, using the tools of kindness and positivity.